found friends.
I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, Californians continue to deal with the turmoil of the raging wildfires.
And Michael Avenatti faces domestic abuse charges.
We've got these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon, you're watching WCMO TV on Channel 15. I'm Ethan Brown.
And I'm George Riffle.
Topping our news this afternoon, a body was found in a burned home Wednesday, and authorities were investigating to determine if it's the third victim of a huge wildfire in Southern California that destroyed hundreds of homes. 2 deaths were previously linked to the week-long blaze in Ventura and Los Angeles counties that so far has scorched 152 square miles, engulfing homes, scenic canyon getaways, and celebrity estates. The 2 unidentified adults were found dead last week in a car overtaken by flames. The so-called Woolsey fire started November 8th and quickly became one of the largest and most destructive fires in state history. Firefighters have made steady progress this week, but warned many hotspots still remain.
Michael Avenatti, who skyrocketed to fame as a critic of President Donald Trump and the lawyer for adult film actress Stormy Daniels, was arrested Wednesday and booked on a felony domestic violence charge. Los Angeles police said the alleged victim in the case had visible injuries, according to Officer Tony Ime, a police spokesman, but Avenatti slammed the allegation as completely bogus and fabricated and meant to do harm to his reputation. In a statement released by his law firm, Avenatti, who said he's mulling a 2020 presidential run, posted a $50,000 bail and was released about 4 hours after he was arrested on Wednesday.
Well, I can think of 3 choice words to describe today's weather.
Jared Ruffin, do you know today's weather?
I'll be there. Basically, today's weather is going to be rough, guys. It's going to be, if we go over here, we can see it's going to be a frozen mix. The high is going to be 38, low is going to be 32. It feels 27. It's cold. It's raining. This is the weather I don't like. The humidity is 93, so even if you're not feeling the rain, which you will, it's going to be wet outside. There's going to be the dew point's 32, so I mean, there's, as he said, a frost mix. There's going to be a little bit of ice in the air. There's going to be a little bit of wind blowing, 8.12 miles. I don't have the direction for you, but it's blowing. But that's all I got for you guys. We're going to head it back to the desk.
Thank you, Jared. Chick-fil-A customers no longer have to go get their chicken because the chicken will come to them. The company is partnering with DoorDash to offer home delivery from more than 1,100 of its restaurants nationwide. Participating restaurants will deliver everything on the menu to customers within a 10-minute radius. In a statement, Chick-fil-A Senior Vice President John Bridges says delivery is one way to help its busy customers get a quick yet high-quality meal. Chick-fil-A has been testing DoorDash delivery since 2017 in select markets.
Food safety officials are stressing the importance of proper handling and cooking practices amid a nationwide outbreak of drug-resistant salmonella found in raw turkey. With Thanksgiving approaching, the Centers for Disease Control last week said the number of reported illnesses has nearly doubled since July to 164. Officials say consumers should always wash their hands in all surface areas where turkey is prepared. Never leave it to thaw on the counter, and use a meat thermometer to cook it to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
When WCMO returns, Marietta College hosts upcoming events, and an OU student is found dead.
We'll be right back.
I never chew tobacco.
I don't drink much.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
HPV. Isn't that about cervical cancer?
What does that have to do with oral cancer?
HPV? Didn't know that.
Dr. Amy H. Sturgis, winner of the Imperishable Flame Award for Tolkien Inklings Scholarship and author of The Trail of Tears and Indian Removal and Tecumseh, a biography, will be a featured speaker during Marietta College's recognition of Native American History Month. Sturgis, one of the hosts of the Hugo Award-winning podcast Starship Sofa, will speak about indigenous futurism, Native American Literatures of Hope, at 7:00 p.m. Thursday, November 15th, in Thomas 113. Sturgis has combined her scholarship on Native American history with her interest in science fiction fantasy literature to study what's called indigenous futurism, which refers to Native American science fiction and fantasy literature. This event is free and open to the public.
The theater at Marietta College continues its performance of Heathers, the musical, this weekend. The remaining showtimes are 8 p.m. on November 15th, 16th, and 17th. Adapted from the 1988 cult classic movie written by Daniel Walters, with book, music, and lyrics by Lawrence O'Keefe and Kevin Murphy. Heathers, the musical, is a hilarious, heartfelt, and homicidal new show based on the greatest teen comedy of all time. It has become quickly popular with its moving love story, laugh-out-loud comedy, and unflinching look at the joy and anguish of high school. The content is intended for mature audiences only.
Ohio University has ordered a fraternity chapter to stop all activities after a student who recently pledged the group died. The university said in a statement Tuesday that it ordered the Epsilon chapter of Sigma Pi fraternity to immediately stop all organizational activities. The order was issued a day after the 18-year-old student died. He was found unresponsive Monday in an off-campus apartment that the university says might be an unofficial annex of the fraternity. Authorities haven't released a cause of death. Athens police are currently investigating.
As families stock up on supplies for holiday meals, local food pantries ask that they keep in mind the Gospel Mission Food Pantry is one of about 13 food pantries in the area participating in the Send Help campaign sponsored by the Marietta Times and WCMOA. Beginning next week, a cutout ad will run in the Times that readers can mail in with their checks. The campaign encourages local residents and businesses to collect and donate food or money to those in need this winter season. Beverly Waterford, Food Pantry Director Joe Teeters say both food and monetary donations are welcome as the need increases around the holidays.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at what's happening around the region.
We'll have these stories and more after the break.
After this, we're going to have a look at our 5-day forecast, and it's going to rain. That's all I can tell you guys. We'll be back in a minute.
November is No Shaver Month at City of Hope. That means throughout November, to raise awareness about prostate cancer, City of Hope is urging men to stop shaving and get screened. But here's my problem. When I grow out my beard, I end up like this. I mean, have you ever? And you know how long this took me? What do I have? A couple of little hairs here? I mean, man, it's useless. How about this? How about this? Very Lincoln-esque, don't you think? How about this? Oh, you put them. Well, that's not the way I heard it. For all you men watching, do what I can't. Let your beards grow. And while you're at it, get screened. No shaver with City of Hope. Grow it, show it, know it.
The Nature.
Alumni who say they're victims of sexual misconduct by an Ohio State University team doctor allege more than 20 school officials and staff, including 2 athletic directors, knew of concerns about how the physician treated young men but didn't stop him. The list of such employees grew Tuesday as 29 plaintiffs were added to one of the 2 pending lawsuits alleging Ohio State didn't deal appropriately with the now deceased doctor, Richard Strauss. He is accused of unnecessarily groping scores of athletes and others under the guise of medical care during his 2 decades at the school.
A judge is blocking Kent State University officials from charging $1,800 to provide security officers for a discussion planned at the Student Center featuring a gun rights advocate whose September demonstration on the Ohio campus drew protesters. The conservative student group planning the discussion next Monday is challenging Kent State's policy on security fees in a lawsuit, arguing they impede free speech. Federal Judge John Adams granted a temporary restraining order Tuesday. Cleveland.com reports that Adams said the possibility of protesters shouldn't put the financial burden of security on the speaker and the student group.
Businessman and Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert has reached a $1 billion agreement to sell the Greektown Casino Hotel in downtown Detroit, one of the city's 3 casinos. Companies involved in the deal announced Wednesday. The move marks the latest in billions of dollars in investments planned or underway by Gilbert and his companies in Detroit. Gilbert's Detroit-based Jack Entertainment said it planned to sell the casino to Pennsylvania-based Penn National Gaming and New York-based VC Properties. The deal requires state and federal regulatory approval. And now, turning to entertainment news, we've got the latest on a music legend who's not quite retired, the sequels to one of the biggest movies ever, and Dwayne Johnson's return to the wrestling ring, sort of.
Here's Wiley Wall with the Hollywood Minute.
Paul Simon is weary of the road. The legendary 77-year-old singer-songwriter says he's finished with touring, but that doesn't mean he's retiring. News on the Avatar sequels, director James Cameron says he's completed principal photography with the main cast, which began more than a year ago. Avatar 2 is due in theaters in December of 2020, with Avatar 3 following a year later. The first trailer just dropped for Fighting With My Family, about the daughter of a wrestling-mad family who gets a shot at the big time. Dwayne Johnson, who knows a bit about the sport, produced and co-stars in the comedy, which is based on a true story and body slams into theaters in February. In Hollywood, I'm Riley Wall.
Thank you, Riley. And now we'll head back over to the weather wall to Jared Ruffin, who's going to give us another look at the weather.
How does it look out there, Jared?
Well, guys, as we can see, it's raining. And I love rain as much as the next person, but let's go to the U.S. low. As we can see, winter's creeping in. As we look up the north, it's coming down, and it's going to be all over the United States. It's going to be a nice low. It's going to be cold, especially as you can see here. As you can see, as it's raining on Thursday, it's going to be raining tomorrow, and we're going to have a nice plot of rain. It's going to be moving over, so in the next coming days, we'll have a little bit of sunlight, but for now, we're just going to have to deal with the rain. As you can see, either it's moving east, it's going to be moving up. We're not going to be having a lot of rain on, I want to say, around Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but for right now, pull out your umbrellas. Let's go to the 5-day forecast. Today, we're going to have, well, a high of 38 and a low of 32, rain. Tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy. We might see a little bit of rain. It's going to be iffy, but it's going to be a high of 41, a low of 33. Saturday, mildly sunny, 44, 30, and then Sunday, 46, 33, and then Monday, 41 to 26. It's going to be nice and cold, so you want to make sure that you're dressing up nice. We're preparing to jump into winter. 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 We're going to go back to the desk.
Thank you, Jared. I get the feeling that it's still going to rain. When we come back, Cooper Holmes will join us with an update from the world of sports.
See you in a few.
Oh my gosh.
Cancer may be tough, but we are tougher. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Our game-changing research has led to the belief that the cures for cancer are in our blood. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood.
And now we are back. Here is Cooper Holmes with an update in the world of sports.
What's the scoop, Coop?
Well, first up, it seems like some congratulations are in order for Jacob deGrom and Blake Snell have become the first-time winners of the Cy Young Award. deGrom took the National League honors after going 10-9 with a 269 strikeouts and a Major League leading 1.7 ERA for the Mets. He finished the season with 29 consecutive starts of allowing 3 runs or fewer, shattering the previous Major League record streak of 26. He beat previous winner Max Scherzer for the Nationals and Phillies ace Aaron Nola for the award. deGrom is the 4th Met to win this award. And the writers chose Blake Snell to be the winner in the American League. He owned a 21-5 record with a 180 with an 89 ERA and 221 strikeouts and 180 innings for the Rays. The left-hander claimed this American League by Cy Young Award by pacing the majors in victories and posting the American League's top earned running average. He beat out previous winners of the award, Cleveland ace Corey Kluger and Houston pitcher Justin Verlander. The Pittsburgh Penguins general manager Jim Rutherford has signed a contract extension that will keep him with the club throughout the 2021-22 season. The 69-year-old Rutherford is the only general manager to win Stanley Cup with multiple teams since the league expanded in 1967. Rutherford also pulled off a trade Wednesday, sending forward Carl Hagen to the Kings for the forward Tanner Pearson. The deal comes a day after the Pens lost for the 6th time in 7 games to fall to the 7th in the NHL's Metropolitan Division at with a record of 7-6-3. And finally, the Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry will remain sidelined during their 3-game swing through Texas, although he is traveling with the team. Curry has missed 3 games since his injury to his left groin during a game against the Bucks on November 8th. He is scheduled to be reevaluated in 10 days. 30-year-old Curry is averaging 29.5 points, 6.1 assists, and 5 rebounds, while shooting 49.2% from the three-point average. That's all over the world of sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
And thank you, Cooper. And now joining us here at the desk is Jared Ruffin for one last look at the weather.
Well, guys, I mean, we can hear it in here. I'm sure you guys can see it outside. It's going to rain. There's no in, if, and buts. The whole shebang-a-bang. Basically, these next 2 days, you got to be dressing warm, bring your umbrella outside just in case, and wear fuzzy socks because the rain's going to get in your socks.
That's the worst feeling in the world is wet socks.
Oh, it's terrible. I hate wet socks. Mortal enemy.
Your shoes start squeaking because of the water in them?
Well, I mean, you drag them into your room and all over, and it's just annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like sand. It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere.
George knows about sand, California child.
Oh, yeah.
That must be nice. Well,
it is.
Maybe not currently, but most of the time.
Well, it's a bit north of where I live, so we're not too affected.
That's fair, I suppose. Well, that's it for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us here on Thursday's edition of News Center 15 at WCMO TV. For all of us here at the station, we want to thank you for watching. Be sure to join us next Tuesday at noon 30 for another great edition of News Center 15. Have a great weekend.
Hope you like rain.
Thank you.